Coming up on Survivor TV, she's a Jersey girl who loves her family and French fries. Welcome to Survivor TV. I'm Tamika Felder, and I'm here with the lovely Sandy Fischer. Sandy, thank you for joining me. I wish we had other things to talk about, but this is an important topic. We're talking about cervical cancer, cervical dysplasia, and all in between. You were diagnosed with cervical dysplasia.
Yes, I was in 2000.
How did that impact your life?
Well, I had been a stay-at-home mom at the time. I had a 9-month-old daughter at home. I was enjoying life as a stay-at-home mom. I got a phone call from my doctor saying that my Pap test had come back with abnormal cells and they were precancerous. And I thought, how could this be? You know, this is supposed to be the happiest time of my life, not the scariest time of my life. Because although she said precancerous, all I heard was cancer. So I was freaking out. I had a leak procedure, went through all of that, and I was so worried and scared, thinking that if this could happen to me, this could happen to anybody. I have 4 sisters, so I told all my sisters, go get tested, go now, because
good for you.
If this is happening here, it could be happening there too. And at the time, you know, HPV wasn't a factor. They didn't talk about it. It wasn't even considered.
Right.
So we didn't have that knowledge. So they all, to my knowledge, had gotten tested and were getting tested on an annual basis. And it wasn't until 2007 that my sister was diagnosed with cervical cancer.
And how did that make you feel?
Well, at first I was pissed. You know, how could she have not
listened to you?
Right. She saw what I went through. She saw how scared I was. You know, why didn't she get tested? She had insurance. She just got busy and didn't take care of herself.
And what happened?
She died.
So what do you want people to know about cervical cancer? Because it's a preventable disease. And I think when people hear your sister died, what happened?
Well, my sister was diagnosed in August of 2007 with advanced cervical cancer. She had a few radiation treatments, 1 chemo treatment, and her kidney shut down. I mean, she was in really bad shape. So 2.5 months later, she was gone. So there was no chance for her whatsoever. There was nothing the doctors could do for her by time, you know, she had sought out medical treatment. Part of me feels like it was unfortunate that we didn't have a lot of time together, but then, you know, thank God she didn't have to suffer through this terrible disease, because in the end, it was terrible.
What do you want people to know about cervical cancer and how you keep your sister's memory alive? Because you're now taking your experience and what happened to your sister to try to spread more awareness.
Right. Well, I think it's important to start with our children at a younger age and talk about it. You know, there are vaccines out there that can prevent HPV, and I think starting at a younger age with these kids and letting them know, you know, when they're out there and they're experiencing and doing things, there are sometimes consequences and things happen, and we want to try and prevent that. So I think starting young and then keeping after them throughout the years, making sure that they are going for their Pap tests.
But someone may say that, you know, as a mom, you may feel that way because of what happened to your family. What about someone who has no family history of cervical cancer and they're thinking, I don't know enough about this vaccine, I don't think I want to get it. But as someone who's dealt with this firsthand, what do you want them to know?
Well, it's kind of like there is a vaccine that prevents cancer. It's almost a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you want to have the vaccine for your children? If you know it's going to protect them, just like chickenpox and the flu, you get these vaccines to protect yourself from these viruses. It's the same thing.
I'm with you because, you know, I've been through this, so
I've had
I don't want this to happen to anyone else.
My 14-year-old daughter has already been vaccinated, and my 13-year-old son will be vaccinated this year.
And I also want to talk about, you do a pretty awesome Halloween 5K.
We do.
So I want to talk about that. Tell us a little bit about your Halloween 5K that you do for the National Cervical Cancer Coalition.
So this year is our 4th annual 5K, and we do it usually the Saturday before Halloween. It's a lot of fun. We get all of our runners to dress up, and we have people come out, raise awareness, and run for a cure.
And so for people who want to get more involved and find out about your race, what website would they go to?
They would go to www.cervicalcancer5k.org.
Thank you so much for coming and talking with us today. You may not be a survivor of cervical cancer, but you're a survivor of everything you and your family went through.
And you know what, all kidding aside, I'm honored that you made me a part of this.
Anything. Thank you for sharing your story on Survivor TV. She's Sandy Fischer. She is one hot mama who is on a mission to eradicate cervical cancer. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for joining in. Remember to subscribe to our newsletter at survivor.org. We'll see you next time. She's one hot mama from Jersey, and she's on a mission to eradicate cervical cancer.
You're the best.
It's my elixir. It's my magic elixir.